Hi good people, and welcome to today's video as we focus on trauma bonding. We'll get to look at what trauma bonding is, how it is formed, the signs and the symptoms to look out for, and even how to deal with trauma bonding in case you're in one. Now, in the wake of what has been happening, I felt a need to add my voice into it and even help us learn some more on trauma bonding. Probably we are in one, and maybe we were in one and we've not been able to heal. Because remember that inner size as you exercise helps us look on the inside to deal with the unnecessary weights, to shed the unnecessary weights that life has thrown to us. Now, for us to be able to deal with the inside and the unnecessary weights, we must be able to know and call them by their names so that we can be able to exercise the responsibilities and the assignments that God has given us. Now, trauma bonding is a dysfunctional attachment between a victim of abuse and their abuser. Notice that I say that it is a dysfunctional attachment because there is threat of danger. I talked about a victim of abuse, meaning that there is threat of danger, there is fear that is present, then there is positive reinforcement, so that the victim of abuser is constantly attached to their abuser or the perpetrator of the abuse. Now you keep wondering, or we keep wondering, why people that are in abusive relations never seem to want to come out of them. It is not that they would not want to come out of them. Now, as you continue learning, you will understand why it becomes hard for them to come out of such relations. Now, it's important to note that trauma bonding exists in all manner of relations. It doesn't have to be romantic relations. Even the workplaces, even amongst friends. Now, trauma bonding can come as a result of incest. It can be found in religious circles, mostly cultic organizations. Now, how is trauma bonding formed? Now, the brain of a human being has a way of attaching meaning to some events. Now, you realize that survival is a basic human need. Now, the victim of abuse has a way of depending on the abuser for survival, maybe emotionally, maybe financially, socially, or by all means. That's why even if we kept hammering and telling people, leave that relation, they will not leave it. Because number one, trauma bonding makes you helpless. It is such an addiction that makes you helpless, that you feel without this person, I am helpless. There's a pleasure of which it's not a pleasant pleasure that comes with it, but there's a pleasure that is derived from that kind of an attachment. Now, how does it form? Maybe from the onset, someone may be asking, because we do not just wake up one day and become victims of trauma bonding. Now, what normally happens, you realize, is that most of us, we are brought up by caregivers or even parents who would abuse us. And because they were the first line of caregivers, we used to look up to them for survival. And when they abuse us, now because we need to survive, we get attached to them. Now, how did they earn our trust until we ended up loving them, loving these caregivers, loving our parents? But remember that this is not real love. It is love that is coerced, love that comes as a result of fear because we needed to survive. Now, if you grew up with a caregiver that mistreated you, chances are that if your parents were away, they would mistreat us. Then when our parents would come around, they would behave in a nice way and they would become the best of friends to us because they needed to buy our trust. And if you realize today, for those of us that have house helps, probably your son or your daughter has started crying about and so, and they are always clingy to you when you're leaving home They're telling you, Mama, I don't want to be left with so and so. Mama, I am afraid. But we rarely sit down to ask them, why are you afraid? Itabidi uzoee and so and so. But probably this and so is abusing our kids without our knowledge. Now, as our children cry, as we cried, it was a cry for attention. It was a cry for help. We needed help. But now they used to caution us, jaribu useme. Now, because you know that maybe our parents were busy looking for a way to fend for us, we would rarely let out the secret that we are being mistreated, we are being abused. And that is how we grew up, attaching pain to love, because we knew that for and so to show care to me, they must mistreat me. That is the best way they show me that they love me. That's how we grew up knowing. That's why our brains attached a meaning that for love to come by, I have to hustle for it. I have to pay for it. I have to go through a hard time. Now, what are the signs and the symptoms to look out for to tell you that outrightly I'm in a trauma bonding and not any other manner of a relation? Now, number one, when there is a need to defend the actions and the behavior of your abuser. When there is need to defend the actions and the behavior of your abuser. Now, when you have to keep on defending what they did, that when you meet with someone, when you meet with your friends, you don't want to tell them the truth, that what happened to your eye, you're telling them, I had an accident in my kitchen, then outrightly that could be a trauma bonding, and that is a toxic relation at its best and at its worst. Now, number two thing is when you have to justify or even rationalize what your abuser is doing. When you have to justify what your abuser is doing, that you're saying that that's the best way they know how to show me love. That's the best way they know. Now you're justifying what they are doing. You are rationalizing what they are doing. For you, it has nothing to do with their state of mind, but you're justifying what they are doing. The number three thing is when you have to cut off emotionally from people that care about you. Now, what abusers do in the real sense, they'll cause you to cut off any links to people that can help you. Now, they will threaten you, even tell you that do not ever let out a secret out of this house, because they do not want to look bad on the outside. They want to oppress you in the house, but they do not want to look bad. Now, the abuser will make sure that you are cut off emotionally, that you're not reaching out to people that can help you. Now, number four thing that you can look out for is when you are ever faulting yourself about the abuse. That when you are ever saying that probably I'm the one who provoked them. Probably I'm the one who is always on the wrong. And what normally happens is that the more the abuser abuses you, the more you add your dosage of love. Now that's why I started by saying that people who are in abusive or in such kind of relations, they cannot get out of a relation, because the moment they are abused, the abuser will apologize. The abuser will come with all manner of goodies. They will treat them well because they are in a honeymoon phase. Now the victim of abuse will feel that, anyway, maybe this was my fault. Now what do? I add a dosage of love. Now we keep on adding a dosage of love to such people without knowing that we are enabling them. And the more we keep on adding these dosages of love, they become, you see, I don't know whether you've met, let me not call them victims, but they are an addict. They are addicted to alcohol, they are addicted to a substance, and you ask them, why do you keep on indulging in alcohol? Why do you keep on? They will tell you for sure that it is not that they really want to keep on indulging. They'll tell you there's something that drives them to do that. It is an addiction. There's something they're having to deal with. There's something they're covering up for. Instead of dealing with their fears, there is something they're having to deal with, but they don't know how to deal with it. Now that's why most of the people do not know how to deal with it. And now the most unfortunate thing is that our hormones play games with us, because the moment we add a dosage of love and the moment our abusers treat us well for a short while, there is a hormone in our bodies that's called dopamine, the feel-good hormone, that plays a game with us, and we feel good. And the moment we feel good, we tend to label our abusers as not too bad after all. Probably it is me who messed up with them. Probably it is me who provoked them. They keep on abusing us, they keep on abusing us, a cycle of abuse. And then what do? We keep on adding love. We keep on adding dosages of love, dosages of trust. And that is why that's why we realize that so many people are dying in such kind of relations. People end up knowing what has been happening, maybe when it's too late, maybe when people have gone 6 feet under, when these people cannot be helped. Now, this is my plea to all of us. If you know such kind of a person, if you're such kind of a person, kindly reach out. How do you get through, or how do you come out of trauma bonding? Number one, recognize it for what it is, because we cannot be able to deal with something that we've not recognized, we've not acknowledged that we need help. Because for you to be helped, for me to be helped, I need to recognize that I need help. Recognize it for what it is. At least let's wake up from this denial. I know that in most people, a good percentage of people can tell you that I always question my sanity. I always felt that probably I'm not in the right kind of relation, but we keep on denying, we keep on, adding dosages of love, we keep on applying all manner of defense mechanisms. Now, number one, acknowledge it for what it is. Number two, go for therapy. Therapy helps us, helps our minds accept that this has been happening, but we can deal with the shame, we can deal with the guilt, we can deal with every negative feeling that comes with it, that you can no longer continue blaming yourself for what has been happening. Number three thing is look at it as if it were a movie. Now, for those that watch movies, and I know most of us watch movies and series, now imagine how you feel when you see someone else going through whatever it is they are going through. Imagine how you feel when someone is going through abuse. Now imagine if your situation was someone else's. That will help you look at it objectively. Assume it was your sister, assume it was your friend that was going through what you go through now in a movie kind of a setup. The same feelings you feel is now what helps us to wake up and seek help. Number four thing that you can do to come out of this is seek for support system. Now, support system is a group of people that probably have gone through what you're going through, or people that are near and dear to you, people that will never judge you for whatever you've gone through, people that will look out for you, people that will love on you. Such are the people that you need to reach out to. And because it is not easy, you see, number one, in the case of abuse, you had cut people off. It is not easy to befriend people, but reach out. A time comes when you decide, I need to reach out, I need to share with one or two people, I need to get help. The number five thing that you need to be doing is to keep a journal. How did you meet with this person? How was it in the first days? When did things start going south? How does abuse happen? And when it happens, how does the abuser behave? Now, this will help you to analyze things objectively. Now, you see, when something is repeated over and over and over again, now that tells you that this is not someone that did this accidentally. This is something they've learned to do, and they will do it again and again. Now, journaling also helps you as you go for therapy. The therapist will ask you, how did it begin? They will want to know how it has been and the cycles, how they've been. Now it will also help you. If you're not able to reach out, it will help you to download issues that are way heavy for you. Now this is my plea to all of us. Reach out to someone. Now the big disadvantage of trauma bonding is that it lowers your self-esteem to zero. Because these are people, your abuser is someone that talks down on you. They will devalue you. They will bring you down to zero. And yet they expect you to keep on loving yourself. They expect you to keep on loving others. Now this is my plea to us. The Bible tells us that we should love our neighbors as we love ourselves. Now, we love others as we love ourselves, and we cannot give from an empty cup. Now, this is my plea to all of us. Let's open up as we reach up to God. Let's open up our heart and accept the kind of unconditional love that He gives. And the moment we receive the kind of unconditional love He gives to us, we're able to dispense this love to others. We are able to accept ourselves for who we are. We are able to know that all is not done, all is not lost. So my plea to us, because most of us have been accused, and it is true. Most of for those of us that have positions, have titles, we've been accused that we never reach out. This is my plea to us. There is no shame in reaching out. There is no weakness in reaching out. Let's reach out. Let's get to heal. Let's look within. Let's call things as they are, and let's reach out. For now, it's a goodbye, but look out for more of this. I will be coming back with a psychologist that will be helping us to be able to label these things, to be able to expound on these things. Look out for our next video. I'll be having a psychologist that will be helping us expound on more of this, expound on what has been happening, and this will help us to look at things more objectively. Do not forget to subscribe. Do not forget to follow and like our page, so that we keep learning, so that we keep spreading this gospel, and together we become a community of victors, not a community of victims. We are no longer victims. We are becoming victors because we are challenging our status quo. We are coming out of the sympathy zone. We are coming out of the woishe, and we are rising. For now, it's a God bless. See you on the next video.